All right, so prone position. Once the sheets are on, obviously, once your client gets underneath the sheets, you got to adjust it. Um, the towel, the purpose of the towel is to make them feel warm. Obviously, when you guys are out in the field, you're going to be using the higher thread of the sheet. So it's going to feel a little bit more comfortable. If you have to use two towels, that's fine. Also, the towels come in handy once we get to hydrotherapy. When we're throwing like a heat pack and those stuff, you will be putting the pack. Say you have two towels, you put the pack here, and then you would be working on the legs. So the towels come in handy. I like the towels because if I'm using cream or oil and I have to, get some off my hand, with the compression, you can get some off your hand. All right. So one of the things that we have to make sure that we're doing before we get started on the back, this is male or female, find that panty line. All right, because that's what it's gonna allow you to tuck in the towel and the sheet and allow you to bring it down just above the crack so that you can work the lower back. All right, so the whole purpose of have your client keep the underwear on is for that, because you'll see it allows you to do the tuck methods once we start doing the draping. So what I like to do first, lift up, find. So you see how I outline the panty line? Now it makes it a lot easier for me to do the draping. All right, and tuck the sheets underneath so they feel comfortable. You're not exposing anything. And if I have to bring it down, it's securing everything. All right. So with this, obviously, with this tuck method, in the supine position, you get to cover one arm if you're working on one side. But here, basically what's being covered is like the palms. For the most part, if it gives your client the options to keep the arms off the table or on the table. And you'll see in a little bit why we prefer to have it this way, because it allows us to work the triceps and the forearms in the prone position. So the tuck method on the table is I'm not going up, I'm going at that angle. So if I take her hand here and I need to tuck this, I'm just, tucking the sheet right underneath that area. So right now it's nice and secure. She's comfortable, you're comfortable, right? Yeah. And now it gives me this whole entire area to work the back. All right. So even before I start applying creams through the sheets, before you got here, I like to compress and feel the area that I'm going to work. All right. Make sure that the face, is this okay? Make sure the face rest is fine before you get started, because once you get started, you don't want to break flow of the massage. All right, so you got the bilateral stroke where you're using both hands and you're going down the back at the same time. You're coming off, and you're coming back up, and you're coming off the shoulder. All right, I'll show you guys that again. This one you're going to be using for the next 30 years. And this is to warm up the tissue. So bilateral is your warm up. You see I'm coming back, I'm dragging back. So you see how the body mechanics always. Once you get to the shoulders, I'll show you guys, or Kelly will show you the technique around there. But all I'm doing now, effleurage is just a warming stroke. Pressure, okay? How much pressure you're applying. But for the meantime, you communicate with your client. So this is bilateral. I like to do about 5 or 10. And this is just warming up the back. And the key to this is your tempo. You don't want to be fast. You want to, show. That's the purpose of the music. All right, so after you warm up, you got to decide Am I gonna start on this side or start on that side? And you see what I'm doing with my legs. Bolsters here, I'm not doing this. So if I'm gonna start on this side, again, back to body mechanics, lead leg. Now I have a lead hand. Boom. Guess what follows? Right. So I don't lose contact. See what happened to the left? It came right back up. And I'm kind of coming off. So right when this hand comes off, remember my hand's a lot bigger than you guys. But you see here. So I'm keeping. So before this hand comes off, this hand is touching. And this is still effleurage. So now I'm working on this left side. So the reason why I like to pick a side, because my transition, after I do a couple rounds of this, now this is a little weird, but now I'm going opposite side to work this left side. And the reason why, because with that stroke effleurage, it's multi-directional. So if you guys read chapter 12, you see you'll have different directions with the stroke because the muscle fibers are the same. The muscle fibers are going this way. So to flush those tissues out, you're going in that direction. So I went from here, coming off the medius, the QLs. Now I'm up to the lats. So you see where I'm at on the table, multi-direction. Now I'm coming to the traps. How you feeling over there? Good, good. All right. So now I'm just going different angles from this side. Because if I was standing over there, the only way I would be able to treat this side is to come up and off, to go up towards the head, and I'll show you that as well. So now, same thing, one hand follows the other. This stroke is to be able to move and keep it going. So now I'm gonna come over here. So come around here, Chris. So here, see here, I'm taking one hand off just to change my direction. So now you see I'm coming down.
Right, and you're keeping the same stance always.
Yeah, I'm always in the same stance. Here. But you saw from going this way, I didn't lose touch of the body. And you'll see, because what this is gonna do is the next transition from effleurage is petrissage. And petrissage would be, if I come here, now I'm going into the petrissage. Then I can go back to the effleurage. And you see how I'm controlling the arm, because I'm getting the arm ready. So this is a little backwards effleurage, because I'm going back with the heel. But I would be preparing what's coming next. Petrissage. See?